Okay, hey, I'm going to teach you about mean, median, and mode. And at any time, if you need to like stop to take notes, just pause it and you'll be able to copy down what I say, okay? All right, a good way to remember mean is average. The average teacher is mean, okay? So the mean, average teacher. So whenever you're getting the mean average teacher, you're wanting an average of a set of data, so numbers, okay? And then median, when you're driving down the road and you have two lanes and that grassy area in the middle, so it's the number in the middle of a set of numbers. So grassy lane in middle of road equals the median. Okay? Are you with me? Hope so. Okay, so the median is the number in the middle. You can't just go about and list the numbers however you want to. You have to list them in an order. So you can either do smallest to largest or largest to smallest, okay? So list numbers largest to smallest or smallest to largest. And the way I always do it is whenever you list them and then I just take one from the bottom, take one from the top, take one from the bottom, take one to the top, until I get to the number in the middle. Now if you get two numbers in the middle, then you're going to have to come back and find the mean. But we'll get to that, so don't panic. Alright, so mode is the number most often. I don't have any cute catchphrases for that. Just know that it's the number most often and it's the one that's going to stand out, okay? Just like in these three, it's the one that's going to stand out because it's the one that doesn't have a catchy slogan. So it's the number most often. And once again, so you don't get confused, list that data out and go from smallest to largest or largest to smallest. Are you with me? Hope so. Okay. So anytime you're doing this, they're going to give you a data set. So they might give you a scenario first that has a bunch of numbers in it. And so my advice would be to break that up. And so you're able to determine what the numbers are. Once you determine what the numbers are for the set, you need to decide whether they're wanting you to find the mean, the median, or the mode. And a lot of times they're going to ask for you to find all three things. And that's okay. Don't panic. Just take it one step at a time, okay? So we're going to do a couple together, and then I'm going to send your mom a worksheet for you to do on your own, and send me the answers back so we can see where we're going and we can go from there. Also, if she can take a picture of your work so I know what you're doing so I can correct it, okay? Alright, so number one. What is the mean for the following data set? Okay, and then I'm going to list your numbers out. You probably don't just see random numbers like this on your stuff. You probably get Sally has 4 red M&Ms, 3 green, 4 blue, but it's the same process. So if you can do it with one set of data, you can do it with any set of data. Just as long as you know the process, you'll be fine. Okay, so what's the mean for this following data set? Well, first off, if we get mean confused with median or mode, we're going to get it wrong. So mean, I'm going to go back and just verify that I know what mean is. Average set of data, so I'm taking the average of this data. So for me to take the average, I have to add up all of the numbers together. So I'm going to list them out because I'm not going to act like I'm some brilliant person who can add them in my head. And if I have to list them out, I know a middle schooler has to list them out. So you need to list them out. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 30. Take my 3, bring my 0. 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 16, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So I'm not done here. All I've done is add all these numbers together. I'm not done. I have to count up how many numbers I have, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? 6. Then we have to divide it into that 1360. 6 will go into 13 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. I have to bring down my 1 and 6. 6 will go into 16 how many times? Twice again. 2 times 6 is 12. 16 minus 12 is 4 with a 0. 6 will go into 40 how many times? Do you know? Well, 6 times 5 is 30. So 6 times 6 is 36. So no, it'll go in 6 times. So 6 times 6 is 36 with 4 left over. Okay? So I'm not sure how you guys do it in North Carolina. At this point, we would say it's 0.4. You guys might do a remainder of 4. It's going to be whatever was taught to you. That's the only part that would differ. But your answer, okay, the average of this set of data is about 226.4. Okay, so your answer choices would be approximately average of something like that. So this would be your answer. Okay? Alright, let's move on to the next. And if you're not done yet, just pause it and get caught up, and then you can play again. Okay? Alright. 2. This is probably a more common problem that you see because teachers and the people who create worksheets and stuff like that, they like to use things that you're used to. So things like grades, because grades are something that you know. So it's not so complicated. Okay, but they're wanting to know the mode of following test scores achieved by Steve. Okay? And 98, 97, 85, 84, 98, 97, 97. Okay, so remember I said that even though you are a very smart person, so you don't get confused ever, it's great to have a good process. So no matter that it's jumping out to you, well, there's 97 3 times, and is it? What you need to do is you still need to list them from either smallest to largest or largest to smallest. So you never get confused, and that way they'll be all right there and you can just count them up. Okay? Because in some sets of data, you might have 397s and 398s. You just don't know. So So it's better to have that good process down and procedure down so you know what to do no matter what the problem is. Okay? So I'm going to list then largest to smallest. So 98 one time, and then I'm going to go mark 98 off. Okay? Then I have 98 again, and I'm going to go mark it off. Then I have 3 beautiful 97s. Don't you wish you were done with money instead of grades? Okay. Then I have 85. Then I have 84. Excellent. Okay, so now we can see, obviously, 97 is the mode of this set of data. So we would write 97 and we would square it so it sticks out amongst those. Okay? Alright, so now, let me give you an example for median. Median of the following set of points scored in a game by Brian. Okay? So 12, 5, 31, 17, 14. Median's the number in the middle. Remember, you're driving down the road and the green grass is in the middle, so it's the median. Alright. So remember, we still have to list that data. Smallest to largest or largest to smallest. So I'm going to start with largest, okay? 31, 17, 14, 12, 5. And then I'm going to go through and make sure I got them all. I'm going to mark them out. 31, 17, 14, 12, 5. Okay? So then my number in the middle. One from this side, one from this side, one from this side, one from this side. So my number in the middle is 14. Okay? Some errors we could have made here is if we weren't to have listed them in the correct order, we could have had any number in the middle, and that's really not the median score. So that's where the issue comes. You have to list it either smallest to largest or largest to smallest, so you make sure that you get the right number. Okay? Alright. So, now I'm going to give you some practice that I want you to do, and if you need any help, you can just get your mom to message me, okay? Alright. So, oh, one last thing I want to add. The mean, hang on, doesn't make any sense. Okay. And then one last term that I want to introduce you to, I have it right here, is I want to introduce you to range. I'm not sure if your teacher uses this term or not, but it's the difference between the largest number and the smallest number. Okay? And that will really help you out. If I can get that back up, I believe you should be able to see my screen right now. Oh goodness, where's it at? Right here is the difference between the lowest and the highest value. So the range of a group of numbers for this set right here would be, since 9 is the highest and 3 is the lowest. The range of numbers is 6. Um, so that's whenever you go a step further. I'm not sure if your teacher has introduced that term to you yet or not, but that, just so you're aware, that is something that you need to know. Okay? All right. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Okay, so number 1. What is the mean of Cindy's SAT? That's a test you'll have to take when you try to get to college. Scores. Okay? And here are the scores: 1250, 900, 1600, 1850, and 1375. Make sure you show your work, okay? All right. Number 2. Jackie has 6 brothers. There are 2 sets of twins. Their ages are 21, 15, 15, 7, 7, and 2. Calculate the mean, median, and mode of their ages. Is there anything special about the mode? What? Alright. The city of Lincolnton, North Carolina, gets an average of 21 inches of rainfall a year. Compare the data and determine if Lincolnton Lincolnton's rainfall for 2012 was normal. Also, find the mean, median, and mode for the data. The bell's about to ring, so it's going to get kind of loud, so just try to bear with me. Okay, I'm going to leave this right here so you can copy it for a second, and I'm going to have to write the data on the next sheet of paper, okay? Alright, so that should have given you time to pause it, and then I'll bring it back up in case you need a pause to write that down. Alright, now I'm going to list out your data for you, okay? Will you please shut my door? Mm-hmm. Yes, just shut my door. Sorry, I had a student. Okay, so the average rainfall is 21 inches, okay? So, we're going to draw out a little chart right here. What? August, September, October, November, December, January, February. I think I spelled that wrong. March, May, June, July. Okay, let me finish my little chart out. Okay. Okay, we're coming down, and this is the month. This is the amount of rainfall. Now remember, you're trying to find out the average. You've got to find the average of all of these numbers and then determine if it's the average for Lincolnton or if it's above average or below average, okay? So keep that in mind. All right. And it's in a year. You're doing it by the year. Okay. So then I want you to find the average rainfall, and you'll have to reference back to the question which was on the other sheet of paper. Sorry, right big, so there wasn't enough room. This number 3, and there's your data to be able to solve number 3, okay? So then once you figure out 1, 2, and 3, and you get them right, then I'm going to send you a worksheet to work on, but I want to make sure that you have a basis for this, okay? Don't get frustrated. Make sure your work's neat so I know what you're doing, okay? All right, let me know if you need anything else.